Hello, students. Good evening. I'm glad to be able to come to you with a lesson this evening. I'm a little hoarse, but I think you're going to hear me clearly. We're now looking at Clear of the Sea Light, but we're looking at it from a different perspective. Last time we worked with narrative perspectives, and you did a fantastic job. Now we're preparing you for the final essay. We want to look at a large area of focus. It's called Man and His Environment. And you'll see I have an umbrella here. And what it suggests is that this is a large concept. And there are a number of other terms that are used to speak of man and his environment. Here we have alternative descriptions for the very same focus. You'll find it described as literature and environment, or you may find it described as man and nature, or it's also recognized as relating to eco-criticism. And then there is a body of work that comes under this umbrella. It's called Caribbean Literature and Environment. So if you check the internet, chances are you're going to come up with these terms and they're going to help you get a clear understanding of man and his environment. Now, the focus, man and his environment, it falls on many areas. You will find that in this area or this broad theme, there's a discussion of the interdependence between humans and nature, man and his environment. We all know that humans depend on plants for food, clothing, shelter, medicine. So you could take what you know from science and apply it to the literature. Wilson Harris tells us that there is something called a sacrament of subsistence. It means that you only take from the environment what you need. Examine that and see what you come up with. Another discourse that goes on under the large umbrella man and his environment, it is argued that the environment provides sustenance, and there is the relationship with the fishermen and the sea. For some, the environment is considered as sacred. The environment is also a place where humans experience relaxation and renewal. Wilson Harris gives us some theory that we could work with. And maybe it can be captured under the large heading that says nature is alive. The first point, there is energy in nature, and man is not superior to nature. The energy often erupts, causing volcanoes, hurricanes, earthquakes, freak waves, tidal waves. According to Wilson Harris in his essay, The Music of Living Landscapes, and you'll find that in Bundy 1999, he says, nature is not passive. So those are the exact words I took from the essay, so you'll find the page number there, 43. But the others are not exact words. Those are paraphrases or my own words. And so I don't need to use quotation marks. I will just cite the essay and the year. Nature is alive. That's another concept that Wilson Harris attributes to man and his environment. Harris says we should listen to the land. He also says that the life of Earth is measureless. Harris describes the Earth using a cardiopulmonary metaphor. Now, all of this you'll find in the essay that I've written. You just need to make sure that you acknowledge the source and do the referencing correctly. Next, Harris says humans should establish an affinity with environment. So, evidence from Dan Tickat's Clear of the Sea Light. What does it tell us? 1. The sea and all that it represents. There in the text, you should examine it. You should also look at tidal wave action, its consequences, and try to see things that are both positive and negative. Recognize that the fishermen establish an affinity with the sea. Consider that Claire's mother had also established an affinity with the sea. We recognize that the sea sustains life. Consider the parallels we can establish with drowning. 1. The sea and the wave action at the beginning of the novel. The sea at the close of part 1. The sea at the end of the novel. And then you'll do some brainstorming to determine how the sea functions in the text. Determine the relationships established with characters and the sea. Comment on the action of tides and waves and determine how this may be metaphoric. Examine the community responses to life and death. Consider that life and death are part of a cycle. Consider the metaphor of a seed. And what do we mean? The seed of a fruit must die first before a new plant germinates. So consider both life and death as necessary. Consider life and death as part of the cycle. Examine the metaphor of light as presented in a novel, light as opposed to darkness. And so maybe there is something going on in the text where positive is aligned with light and the negative is aligned with darkness. So you have some work here that's going to help you with your reading and interpretation. Thank you.